93.3 CFMU Redefining Radio. I'm Jordon Schere. This is the Hamilton Comedy Hour. Don't forget to follow the station on Twitter at 93.3 CFMU. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter for jokes, updates about this show and comedy shows in Hamilton at Jordon Schere, JordanScherer. Follow the guests of the show on Twitter. That's at Pat Coppolino, Copplino, and Gavin B. Stevens with a PH. And if you haven't seen it yet, there's this amazing Patrice O'Neill documentary online for free. It seems pretty unofficial. They use a lot of like alternative interviews as commentary over like different clips from his stand-up, just like audio clips from Opie and Anthony, and all that good stuff. So from one comedy fan to another, you should definitely watch it. And you can find that link on my Facebook or my Twitter. And we're going to get the show on the road right after this. But first, I'm going to play a quick clip from Patrice O'Neill's special, Elephants in the Room. This is all about white women not being able to, or I guess white women being able to be found over black women. On 93.3 CFMU.
You know how you can tell how pretty a white woman is? The value, you look at her and then you wonder how long they would look for if she was missing. Come on, take a look. Take a look. Look at it. Look, 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 look. I saw you look mad, sweetie. How long, if you was missing, how long you think they were? Exactly. She went. You know the deal. I ain't saying nothing wrong. White woman's life is valuable. What's his name? Joran Vandersloot? Right? We find out he was a serial killer. Man, he kills women. That's what he do. He do it well. You know what I mean? We know the girl that he, you know, supposedly had, what's the girl in Aruba? Natalie Holloway, right? But the one, he just killed a girl in Peru. What's her name? Exactly. Look how fast you said Natalie. You said Natalie. Natalie Holloway. That angel. Y'all said that like Family Feud. All right, name a white girl been missing for 5 years in Aruba. Natalie Holloway. Survey says. Name a Peruvian girl that was killed yesterday. What is that big head third world Peruvian bitch's name? It has to be Yoris or something goofy. Don't get mad at yourself. I gave it to you. You saw how fast you said Natalie Holloway. Diana Ross right here said Natalie. She knew her name. That white girl with Natalie Holloway. Remember football players in Miami went missing? They went sailing. They looked for them for 8 minutes. Maybe. They just sent somebody at the edge of the beach. I don't see him. We have to call off the search because there's too much sun. The conditions are abnormally difficult. If I go sailing, I'm taking a white baby on a keychain with me. If my boat go down, they gonna find me. I'm gonna have it hooked right to the side of my belt. And I'm gonna dress the baby real white too. I'm gonna put sweatpants on it and a pair of Ugg boots, and I'm gonna take a picture. Look at this white baby. You don't come get me. This white baby going down with me.
.3 CFMU Redefining Radio. You just heard Patrice O'Neill from the special Elephant in the Room, which if you haven't seen it yet, you should definitely dig into that, as well as the documentary that I posted on my Facebook and Twitter. They're both amazing. Maybe ease yourself into elephant in the room, though, because if you're not like a big comedy fan, it'd be kind of like drinking moonshine before you even tried a beer. But it's awesome. And again, the documentary posted on Facebook and Twitter last night, so check that out. I'm here with Gavin Stevens and Pat Coppolino.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
And I can't wait to dig into this topic. Hack material. I want to talk about hack material today. I thought I would put Patrice O'Neill on because he's probably the most anti-hack.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He is.
That's why I wanted to play a little.
Like, because I don't know if it's like, he does donkey punch stuff.
Yeah.
But like I saw it, like I was listening to an ONA interview with him.
Yeah.
And he was just talking about how, they were arguing, they were discussing that clip he did with Fox News, that woman on Fox News.
Oh, that was amazing.
He's like, she was getting mad. It's like, it's not, no, they were talking about, they did this like shelter dog sponsor, him and Louis C.K., and they got in trouble for this woman shelter thing.
Oh, really?
And they got in trouble for it. And he's like, I was doing the donkey punch. He's like, I'm getting in trouble. That's not even like, it's like a regular joke. It's not even, not my joke. It's like the honesty of that to go to, you know what I mean? Like the donkey punch thing really isn't his joke, but it's kind of his joke. Yeah.
To even say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
To even be self-aware of that.
Yeah, to be self-aware. It's like, you're not even taking, like, And,
well, I guess we should define hack before we start. For everybody who doesn't know. Technically, hack is actually considered somebody who steals jokes. That's technically what a hack is. That's what, like, the dictionary definition of a hack is somebody who steals jokes in comedy, which came from vaudeville, where they didn't have internet or like a digital community to find out that other people were stealing their jokes. And that's the original definition of hack. But I feel like hack's evolved.
Well, it doesn't have to be literally stealing someone's jokes. It could be stealing their essence.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Their style.
Yeah, their style.
Their personas
or
on stage.
taking, like we were talking about it, taking like, say you go up and do a joke about garbage bags, and then somebody all of a sudden, like, a dude that was in the room's doing jokes about garbage bags all of a sudden. It's like that to me is hacky too.
Even right after your set.
Yeah, right after the set.
Like there's been times when I've done shows where like if somebody talks about something and they get a good laugh on it, the comic that goes up right after has to talk about it.
Yeah.
It's like that to me is hacky even.
Yeah,
I do that if I'm hosting and I have material about a certain subject.
Yeah.
Like I have a whole bit about hemorrhoids, having hemorrhoids, and I remember like last time at Yucks, there was a comic was talking about having hemorrhoids.
Yeah.
And as a host, I went up and referred to it, and then went into my bit. But I think it's just
that's different.
It's generic.
Yeah, that's host. Yeah,
like,
that's
it's like like you've had the bit for how long?
Yeah, and it's just so different from what he was talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's that's almost like a necessary thing to keep the momentum of the show, which is the host job, right?
I've been on shows where like you're middling. And the MC didn't have a bit on Friday or Thursday, and then Friday they have a version of your bit just before bringing you up.
Yeah.
Just chopping on material. Yeah, that happens all the time. Or the middle, all of a sudden, is doing something like you on stage. You're like, dude, you're doing a completely different show all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, it's this need to do well. It's like, that joke does well. I should do a version of that.
I think the reason that like hacks evolved into that of us like talking about that, like even if you take like a joke, it's pretty much this. It's like I find hack has evolved into easy angles, has evolved into stealing people's personas, stealing even topics that people talk about, and I think the reason that it sort of evolved from that is because like vaudeville jokes. Like it was just about stealing jokes. That was a hack comic in the vaudeville days, but their jokes were so like. Well, they weren't funny, and like a lot of them, and they were so not personal. They weren't like real.
Like not
they're
jokes.
Zingers.
Yeah, exactly.
Zingers.
Yeah,
like,
little zingers.
Yeah, and there's like hacky could be used to substitute the word lame too.
Yeah.
Like again back to the hemorrhoid thing. I've always been tempted to say like, they're a real pain in the ass. And it's like that's too. I can't even do it. Even like sarcastically, I can't even say it.
That's
too
true.
easy.
That's but see, like you talk about Patrice O'Neill and those guys in New York, they kept themselves real with that.
Yeah,
like they'd go on stage. I forget what they called it, where they make fun of each other for the bits they did that were hack, and you had to defend it. So like that keeps you real. Like I don't know. Going into Toronto, there's a lot of guys who are just business, and it's just you don't want to piss off the next guy.
Yeah.
So you're just like nobody's really like busting anyone on anything.
Yeah.
No one's busting going, like the guys that are really hacky seem to be getting ahead or playing rooms that they shouldn't be playing because it's all politics. It's all politics. Everyone's just like, okay, well, that guy can get me here, so I need to. It's all politics. So none of it means anything. The art form is gone.
Yeah.
And yeah.
It does really seem like I've only been doing it for like 2.5 years, but it does really seem like it's not so much about the art. It's not about like being like a real funny comic. Like that doesn't really seem like it gets you anywhere.
I don't know if it ever was, but it.
Okay.
I don't even think you have to be a comic. I just think it's like, when someone's got skills. Like you could see when someone's got some skills.
Well, the best is when you call someone on hacky material, even if they were unaware.
Yeah.
But now that they know, they still refuse to do it because they didn't know when they wrote it.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, but now you know. That, like a million. It's like the GPS voice jokes.
Yeah.
Like even if you've never heard one, someone could show you 10 examples, and then there's still, whether they decide to keep going or not says a lot about.
There's also riff hack too, like where guys like it seems like they're coming off the top of their head, but they're just doing jokes that have been done before, and like they're just stock lines. They call it stock, but it's like there's no stock. It's just
like an excuse to be hacky.
Someone posted from Yucks. Can we say names? Do you guys care?
I don't care.
Yeah, they posted this tweet of one of their comics, one of their guys. And it's like, oh, he's on stage calling the front row Backstreet Boys. It's like, okay, first of all, it's hacky.
Wait, this was when Twitter was around?
No, this is recently.
That is the most, that guy's stuck in the 90s.
But he is a young comic, too. He's
really?
Not an old guy. He's younger than me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
He's just not
I won't
aware.
say the name, but yeah.
Not aware that the Backstreet Boys.
He's a national comic.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah. Oh, you know who it is?
What?
You know who it is?
No, I don't know.
Yeah, but it's also a comic who's worried about
tricks.
No, close though. Close. Same show, same TV show.
Eddie Gillespie.
There you go. They're worried about Schwa. I hope Schwa doesn't tell anyone.
Hey, Schwa.
Our one listener, Schwa.
They're worried about their status and how can they get to the. Actually being in that moment and playing an audience and being right there means nothing. Because they're like, okay, who's in the back room? What are they watching? What do I need to do?
It's sort of a weird thing because like when I first started doing stand-up, I had sort of zingers like vaudeville from hell, like contemporary vaudeville.
Everybody does when they start.
Yeah,
it's just because you're just learning how to write a joke.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I hit a point where I was like, I can't do this on stage. Like I can't bring myself to say these words on stage anymore.
Remember that comic we watched? We're talking about the same thing. Yeah. It's that rhythm of da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da. Remember that comic we watched? And I was like, you guys, she wasn't bad. And you're like, and I'm like, oh no, I've seen it before.
Yeah.
And it's just the same. The jokes were a little bit different, but not much. It's just, you've seen it before. The rhythm was all the same. She's playing that typical comic, that female comic.
The crazy thing is we called it out after the show because we were like, she does, and we said exactly how she structures every single one of her jokes.
Right.
She does a little sing-song at the end to make this
voice.
Is awkward. Everything's awkward.
Yeah.
It's
And it's just like, okay.
Or like another comic we know. It's set up, dark twist.
Yeah.
Set up, dark twist.
Yeah.
Set up, by the, like, they're being hacks, they're like on their, like, of themselves. You know what I mean?
The surprise is gone.
It's like you're overdoing your own shtick.
Yeah.
And then there's comics that we know whose name starts with V that is the most I think her life is just an Andy Kaufman-esque prank.
Well,
I think like her entire, I can't wrap my head around.
Who are you talking about?
Vita.
Oh, God. Yeah, but she's not doing it on purpose.
No, I think Vita's very calculated.
You think so?
Yeah, I've talked to Vita before, and Vita's very much... I like her throwing names out.
But calculated in her own mind where she thinks it's funny.
She has no self-awareness.
Yeah.
But she's like, I remember talking to her going, and she had that whole, I'm like the edgiest, most offensive comic, right? Like she has that, she's desperately trying to shock everyone. She just doesn't know how to piece a joke together.
But she thinks she's doing great.
Yeah. Well, because people laugh at her sometimes.
Yeah, she's mentally ill.
Exactly.
So if here's another question, and this is something I wanted to tackle today as well. If somebody's getting a lot of laughs, but they're still doing hacky material, are they hack or are they a good comic?
No, they're hack.
You're hack.
They're still hack?
Because hack is easy. Of course they're doing well.
A good comic is not afraid to lose the audience.
I wouldn't say Vita, I wouldn't categorize her as a hack.
No, I wouldn't.
No,
She's an awful comedian.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see, like, cause for me, Vita, like, when I get into like a conversation with her, it's so weird that I'm like, is she messing with me? Like, I don't know if she's
she's being who she is, but there's also I'm going to be as gross as possible on stage.
Okay, yeah, it's too much.
Yeah, that's to me, that's another sign. The edgy hack where they're like, I'm so, like, everything's like angry at the audience and mysterious. That's another form of hack too. It's
I would
90s.
say she's an edgy hack. Vita,
yeah,
you think?
There's definitely edgy hacks that I know who are pros.
Yeah.
Because they fit into, the bookers go, oh, I know exactly what that edgy is. There's no edge to it at all.
Mm-hmm. It's like, edgy's like a crutch word.
Yeah. It's just something I can label myself because I don't have a real persona.
Or a personality.
Yeah, exactly.
And if it's
We're
like,
just throwing it all out there.
if I think a lot of like people use edge as like their hacky sort of crutch, because it's like if they go on stage and they say I'm so edgy and then they make just disgusting jokes and nobody laughs, they go,
when you warn the audience, right?
Like, yeah, get ready. Sorry for this. Next one's going to be a little dark.
But
Jesus, just do
it. Just say it. If it's real to you, it's not really that dark.
Let them categorize you. Like, a lot of people think I'm disgusting by my material, and it is pretty gross. But I'm not being gross to be gross.
You're just doing what you do.
My material just happens to be.
But that's
gross.
who you are off stage.
Yeah,
it's disgusting and gross.
Yeah, that's just who I am. I'm just a disgusting human being.
But it's like a real life like I know you pretty well. You just. It seems like you're just you on stage. And like the things you're talking about are something that you've actually really experienced. It's not like, so I went on an airplane the other day and guess what? The pilot was black. And it's like, oh, really? You're going with this?
When you break down stuff like that, it's really not as outrageous as people think it is.
No, it's not.
Like you could, so many comics talk about like having sex when a girl's on her period.
Yeah.
And it's like, people are just so like, it always gets like a ooh, or some sort of crazy response, but like, a lot of people do it. It's just a thing people do.
Yeah, but that's the level of the audience. That's maturity to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's just, I guess the humor comes from just like, it's just not a normal thing people talk about.
No, it's not, but that's what you pay for.
Yeah.
When you go to a comedy club, it's like, I don't want to hear, you can tell, going back to, you can tell what's hacking, when a comic's hack and not hack, based on, how scared they are on stage. A hack comic is terrified to lose the audience at any time. And that's why you get the guys like, they had XXX on the door, it's going to be edgy tonight, and it's all words that are shocking. Just shocking words. There's no meaning behind anything. Yeah. And a good comic is not afraid to lose the audience and risk. A good comic knows how to manipulate the audience because they spent years learning how to be good. They almost put the time in.
It almost seems like sometimes when you're on stage, you like try to lose the audience a little bit.
It's never trying, but it is a matter of I want to do it my way, and it's also let me challenge them to challenge me, and I'm comfortable with what I do. Yeah. So, but it's never me like, oh, let me see if I can get rid of them and try to bring them back. But I am going with how I feel, and there's a lot of comics who are always right there. Like, always doing an act, always doing, like, they're always right on that I gotta survive on stage.
Mm-hmm. And it's because they're doing material that they've seen work before with other people. So they
exactly.
They have this, they have this assumption that it's going to kill, and if it doesn't, they panic.
It's whenever I love the edgy guys. The edgy hacks are the worst because sometimes they're preachy and they tell comics what they can and cannot do off stage. Yeah. Because they have to live in that persona, and it's always. I remember I was in Austin. I was doing South by Southwest, and my wife was with me. And Bill Hicks has a list of things that you're supposed to do at one of the clubs on the back wall before you go on stage. And one of them was like never repeat material. And my wife's like, "Yeah, but didn't Bill Hicks do that all the time?" And I'm like, "Exactly." Yeah, because it was a persona. Yeah. He was playing a persona. It was a persona of same with Louis C.K. It's a persona of being an artist, an everyday everyman. It's not that they're hacks. It's just when you buy into that and you believe that that's what it is, and then you start molding it, you can't live up to that. And that's where you get the hacks.
I'm an awful student, but there is like an actual like I did learn about like an actual there's like an academic word for that when like somebody, and people start to feel like they know these personas that these people are like. If you run into a famous comic that you love, you have this persona.
You feel like you know who they are and how they're going to act. And
stuff. But you really don't. Like, they could be completely different. It's just it's a persona. It's something they have to separate themselves from.
It's a heightened, it's always heightened. Like Bill Hicks is Bill Hicks. Like what you're seeing.
Yeah,
but
it's
heightened. It's show business.
They have to do that.
Yeah, it's show business.
It's just like celebrities and stuff. You always hear people. It's really ignorant comments, but people are always saying like, "Oh, I heard so and so's a huge prick in real life."
Yeah.
That's always they say that about everybody.
Yeah.
What? Because they didn't want to take your friend's picture after the 1,000 they've taken the last week.
Dude, I've had prick days all the time.
Yeah,
you might have caught them on a bad day. Nobody takes
because Ryan Gosling wasn't the sweetheart he was in The Notebook when your friend met him.
He wouldn't build me a log house. I don't get it.
And they're like, it's like one thing people forget to realize too is that celebrities are still human beings who have the same thoughts that we have, the same tendencies we have. They're people. They have bad days, good days. They're just people.
Yeah,
except Tom Cruise.
Except for Tom Cruise.
That's true.
He's a robot.
Yeah, that's true. Actually,
you just peel that mask off. It's all metal.
He's a freak, man.
Yeah. I like Tom Cruise.
I like his movies.
I'm not a huge fan of his movies, to be honest.
I think he's really funny. He's got a good sense of humor.
You think so?
I think so.
I don't think so.
He's a little crazy, man.
Remember that thing when he got squirted in the face with water?
No.
From the microphone, this British television program, they pranked him.
Didn't he slap the guy or something?
No, he didn't do anything. I thought he handled it awesome, but TMZ spinned it like he was being
What'd he do?
He's crazy. Nothing. He grabbed the guy's hand because the guy tried to leave, and he says, "Why did you do that?"
Yeah.
You're a jerk. He kept calling him a jerk. You're a jerk.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Yeah.
He's like, you owe me an apology. Something like that.
Yeah.
And then because he laughed for a second and then he was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, he's shocked.
But on TMZ, they played it they showed him laugh for a second, then they paused it, and they're like, and now. Oh, wait, you can't do that. I'm Tom Cruise. They tried to make him sound pretentious and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's I thought he handled, he could have snapped and knocked the guy out, or he could have just stormed off.
And part of it is, I am Tom Cruise. You can't squirt me in the face.
Yeah, but he was being an adult, and he just said, why would you do that?
I love
why
people
would you disrespect me like that?
Yeah, I know.
I'm giving you an interview.
I love how people expect someone who makes people billions of dollars in their lifetime to act like regular people.
Yeah.
He doesn't live in our world. He is not us at all.
That's so true.
We expect so much from these people. You make billions of dollars for a company, and I don't make billions of dollars for anybody. I can expect him. He is Tom Cruise. I don't think he's a better human being than me, but he makes someone money.
I listened to a couple of interviews with him, just about his views on therapy and medication and stuff, and I don't know, man. He's pretty out there for me. He's not up my alley on that stuff.
And in his defense, I don't care what he thinks.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't care anything of what he thinks. I don't care.
I just like to listen to stuff like that because it gives me a different perspective.
I'm like you, but I just
you don't have to listen to it.
I don't expect much from him.
I'm not going to go out and pursue it and be like, he said this about this and he's wrong. I just don't agree with him.
Yeah. He's an actor.
Yeah.
I've talked to a lot of actors. I remember talking to this girl on my show. She said she was going to ride across Africa on a bike. And I'm like, are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind? You know what they do to people? It's a dangerous continent.
Yeah.
It's a continent, first of all. You're going to ride across Africa, you and another girl on a bike. Are you out of your mind? I was in South Africa.
Yeah.
It is a dangerous place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's very dangerous.
Got guns.
Yeah. Well, when we had drivers in South Africa, they all had guns.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I had to hold a gun for a dude.
Oh,
for one of my drivers. Yeah. It's not, they were they used to pick up hitchhikers in South Africa because they're soldiers, right? And then a dude was dressing up as soldiers and murdering people in the cars. Oh, and I'm not saying that this doesn't happen anywhere else. I'm just saying it's very dangerous. And it's you're naive to think it's not.
Yeah.
You're naive to go there and go, oh, you know what? No, it's going to be happy time. It is dangerous.
Why don't you go ride your bike in Niagara or something?
Yeah, there's drug lords. There's all that. You're going to ride across Africa.
Yeah, what do you
never mind the animals.
Yeah.
Never mind the animals.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
We named a lion safari after Africa.
Dude, they're cheetahs. You know how we have gophers? That's like cheetahs for them. I swear to God. They hunt cheetahs because they ruin their crops.
Wow.
And their animals
and
and
their children.
And eat their it's a cheetah, dude. Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
It's crazy.
I just don't get it. What is riding your bike across Africa any different than riding your bike anywhere else? Other than you're going to get mauled by a cheetah.
It's just
like, what is she trying to change?
Like, and they're not stupid. It's just someone that's just like exists on a like comics exist in reality. We're cynical. We're bitter. We're all that stuff. But we're right in reality. We look at the dirt. Actors live in this. Other personalities coming in my head, and then it's leaving, and then another personality comes in my head, and I'm going to go to yoga, and I'm going to do all that stuff, and it's all wonderful. And we're like, are you out of your mind?
Yeah.
It's a different mentality.
That's actually a good point. Yeah, they always have that different personality coming in. There are some comics who have that too. At this level, I feel like there's a lot of different personalities coming in.
There's not a lot of stand-ups.
Yeah.
Some people are doing stand-up, but they're not stand-up.
Yeah.
There's so much of, especially because of the internet and everything, and there's so much of pretend Hollywood, and I can't stand it.
Like, what do you mean?
Well, like this, for instance, like this, for certain people, this is just like, we're just on the radio.
Yeah.
We understand what this is. It's a university radio station.
Yeah.
We're comics. We're from Hamilton. This is what we want to do.
We got Schwab
There's some
listening.
people who come in here probably that think,
this is it.
like, oh, I'm on the radio.
And
they talk like they're
Oh yeah, there's
they're
definitely
acting
people.
like they're like rehearsing what they've heard on a podcast, or like they're listening to Opie and Anthony, and they're like, they think this is what this is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not to play this down, like, this is cool and fun, and it is kind of cool. You know what I mean? But
that's a big difference. But what I found between Toronto and Hamilton, is that difference. It's like I was saying about guys in New York busting each other. Not that you guys bust anyone, but there's just a difference of mentality. But you guys aren't business like here. You're not about the business.
Yeah.
You're more of, but you're more real. Whereas, like I said, Toronto, like that Tuesday was a perfect example of what I was telling you. It's like when we went in, it's just a lot of guys who are just business promoters. They're more promoters and stuff, or trying to get the next gig. Whereas here, it's like this kind of a defeatist attitude where you're like, all I really want to do is stand up.
Yeah.
I just want to do stand up. That's what I like to do. I don't see beyond this. I just want. I mean, I'm not saying you don't, but it's just.
I get caught up in that all the time. It's just like, I just want to do stand-up.
Yeah, but that's a good mentality to have. It's also, you have to have the other side of it, the business, but it's good to be like, I want to be a good stand-up. I don't want to, I'm not fooled by, and it's easy to get fooled in that city to go, everyone's looking for a place and looking for respect. And when you're looking for a place and respecting, everyone wants to be great.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to be themselves. Yeah.
But there's a lot, that's what I meant, like, by the pretend Hollywood thing. There's just people strutting around, and they just pop in at comedy shows and open mics, and some of them don't even go on, they just want to hang out, and they're just like they're pretending like they've made it, but they're not working on their stuff.
No.
That drives me crazy too, man.
It's just annoying. And those are the same people that are going back to the hack thing. Those are those same people that do that stuff.
Yeah. I get what you're saying about the, like, people over, they give too much emphasis on this, like, show. Cause it's like, this is just a McMaster radio show. I got this because I'm a student at McMaster and I like comedy and I wanted to talk about comedy on the radio. Yeah. And there is a lot of guys who come in and they think I'm like Howard Stern or something, and they think they can say like all this crazy crap. And it's like, I'm not I'm just a comic. Like, I don't even hardly know what I'm doing on the radio half the time. I just wing it. And like, they'll come on, they'll just say the craziest stuff. And then it's like, dude, this isn't like Howard Stern. Like, I'm not even close to that. Like, you can't talk about that. Like, this is not like, there's literally right now, there's probably 4 people listening. Yeah. 2 of them are 90 years old, and they have no idea that this is even on in their car.
Why are we doing this for? They don't want to turn the knobs.
Yeah, exactly.
Their seek is off.
Yeah, they're in a PT Cruiser.
Yeah. Ugh.
And they shouldn't be driving today because the roads are horrible. And no, but I feel that. And it's like this false sense of entitlement of like, oh, I'm on the radio today. I'm famous. And they just like, they're too much about being famous and not about having the content that should make you
give you the recognition. It's like having the skills. Yeah. And you see them and you're like, your skills are horrible.
Like when you guys come on, I feel super comfortable in the show. Like I don't get any nerves at all before the show comes on. I just know that I can go in and have like a conversation with you. Yeah. We can riff and we can make things funny because we're all comics and that's all what we want to do. Yeah. Then you have other guys who are on there like you're interviewing them or something. So you'll ask them a question or like you'll try to like scrape some comedy out of the like cesspool and they'll be like, yeah. That's all they say. It's just like, and stuff like that. They're not performing like a comedian should. It's a comedian's job to make things funny, even if we have to do it organically on the radio like this. And like, my show's not funny all the time. Like, sometimes it's pretty serious.
I don't think it should be funny all the time.
No, I don't think it should be either. I think it should be organic.
Yeah. That's the difference, is that you're dealing with two guys who are like very comfortable. As messed up as we are, we're comfortable with being messed up.
Yeah.
And then you're dealing with people who are trying to hide that flaw.
Yeah,
trying to look like, oh my god, no, everything's perfect and fine.
Yeah, and it's like we're always trying to think like we might do something, like we'll have a great show, or we have this thing that we did, and then we're like, okay, what's next? What's next? And the people that you're referring to